What a horrible, greedy, hateful thing Trump's trying to do to take our children's health care and make sure children can't have heart surgery, like Jimmy Kimmel says. Just made up, waving a bloody shirt. We deserve free health care like Cuba or England. They don't have free health care. What they don't have is health care. I am so happy that Congressman Scalise lived. And when I saw the thousands of tweets, I mean, just hundreds of pages of them, and prominent people saying they hoped he died, and when I watched mainstream corporate media be completely silent about all the viciousness and actually witnessed CNN and others talking about how the guy that attacked him did what had to be done, it just makes you realize that these globalists have been dominating and parasitically controlling America and feeding off Americans, these different elites, while they try to domesticate as many Americans as they can to make us controllable. So the parasite can control the host. They want to turn more people into parasites. So it becomes more of a symbiotic parasitic relationship where we can't live without the parasitic controllers because they've so infected us with their political and economic and cultural and religious satanic systems. And I love how Comedy Central makes fun of me and goes, Jones claims it's a satanic communist world government conspiracy. So which is it? Is it satanic or is it communist? Well, they're one in the same. Dehumanizing people, enslaving them, taking their free will, taking people's labor, giving it to other people without them being able to direct where it goes. That is satanic. It's one and the same, meaning evil, meaning corrupt, meaning immoral. But again, they play constant semantical games where they feed on their ignorant viewers, where they think that people aren't intellectually intelligent. And so they create little mental fallacies in the mind and then expand out from there, just burrowing in as much as they can to basically scramble communications and to lessen the larger palette of words that individuals are able to use and communicate with. They're at war with language. They're at war with freedom. They're at war with families. They're at war with independence. They want you to be their captured slaves. And the WikiLeaks and all their documents admit it. I want to get back into the president's tax cut. And then Rand Paul, Trump will take executive action on health care after Senate failure. He's come out and said, well, what have we been publishing for 8 months? That all he's got to do is not let them raid Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And that if he can stop them from raiding Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the hundreds of billions of dollars a year they use to prop up Obamacare, that the federal government will not have followed its agreement and the whole thing decouples and implodes. Plus, it's already imploding where many states only have one provider who can then jack up prices as high as they want. That's why on average it's doubled. In some areas it's quadrupled the prices and massively increased profits of insurance companies who wrote it. It's a giant scam. But all the Democrats do is sit back and say, oh, we're defeating the Republicans by keeping Obamacare in place, like they're winning score points in a baseball game, when the Republican elites, the Democratic elites wrote it, and it's been a screw job. I mean, there's no getting around the fact that Gruber, that helped write it, said it's a ripoff to triple prices, and thank God you're so stupid. And thank God you have no attention span. Thank God you're so distracted. And I'm up here saying, please don't be distracted. Please don't be distracted. Please don't be distracted. Please don't let them screw you over. It's crazy. But Rand Paul predicted Wednesday that President Trump would soon move on his own to make health care insurance more affordable after the Senate failed again this week to advance any bill to reform federal health care policy. Paul said on MSNBC that he thinks Trump would move to reinterpret an existing law in order to make it easier for people to buy health insurance across state lines. And that, of course, will let you have competition and will lower prices. What a horrible, greedy, hateful thing Trump's trying to do to take our children's health care and make sure children can't have heart surgery, like Jimmy Kimmel says. Just made up, waving a bloody shirt. We deserve free health care like Cuba or England. They don't have free health care. What they don't have is health care. That's why they come here. You pay out 20, 30% of your paycheck into it, and then you don't even get it. Oh, but it's free. Oh, but there's a 2-year wait on that brain surgery. That brain surgery is 99% operable for that tumor, but only within 6 months. Within 2 years, 90+% of people die. I mean, those are real parliament debates I've watched over and over again, where even Tony Blair would admit, yes, I'd agree, it's unacceptable that we're making children wait 18 months to 2 years for a surgery that, if not done within 6 months, normally kills the child. I agree, we're going to fix it. But our national health care services is a wonderful crown of socialism. And then I've got to hear, we deserve free health care just like England. It's not free. Venezuela's got free health care. You can't get it now. It's not free. It's like saying I have a free imaginary cake here, and everybody can have a slice of it. And you're like imagining you're having it. Oh, is it chocolate cake? Is it vanilla cake? Is it rum raisin cake? And you're just getting a slice of it, and here, have your imaginary cake. Oh, communism's so good. Socialism, oh, it's so good. And, of course, it always works for a while till you run out of other people's money. And I know our audience knows this. But imagine not being informed and really believing, as some trendy millennial that watches Jimmy Kimmel, that kids with heart defects don't get surgeries. There are hundreds of major charities. The hospitals are supposed to be charity hospitals. You know, when you walk in, most hospitals, it says on the billboard, Catholic's charity or Lutheran charity. Hospitals were always supposed to be charities. Then the doctors were paid, the nurses were paid, but there was no profit in it. And if someone didn't have money, it was free. And they would check your credit, or they would know you were in the standing, and they'd come in and say, your child needs surgery. It's going to be handled by the hospital. But they never tell anyone this. I have a friend who had Crohn's disease, and his insurance kept kicking him off, and he couldn't get it through the city of Austin because the city wouldn't cover it. And I said, under charity care, under law, these charity hospitals have to do your surgery. You know, let's say you're making $40,000 a year, which he was at the city. And I said, that, you know, counts as basically blue collar in a town like this. You can go show them your pay stubs, your taxes, what you've done, and they're going to make you pay a fraction of it, and the hospital will pay for it. And he goes, my doctor tells me that doesn't exist. I said, your doctor's lying to you. And he was trying to give him some prescription that cost hundreds of dollars per pill. It was called Remicade, and didn't even work, but it turned his immune system off. And I told my friend, I said, you need to go to the charity hospitals. And he goes, well, they don't say charity. I said, they're basically all charity hospitals unless it's a private clinic. And he finally went, and they said, yes, we do charity care, but we recommend that you go back to the state you're from for the surgery. They've got even better there in New York City. And he went, and the top Crohn's surgeon in the world did his surgery. And all he had to pay for was, it was like $500 for the cost of autoclaving and cleaning the instruments. And I mean, he just couldn't believe it. He said it was true. No one would tell me. My dad managed hospitals. My dad managed over 150 dental clinics. Okay? My dad testifies in the legislature and writes papers for Congress. I know, okay? I know all about healthcare. All about it. See, I've already gone off on a jag. It's just, it's so frustrating because under Obamacare, you know what it lets the hospitals do? Get out of the old laws and the old regulations. You know, everybody talks about Ron Paul was such an incredible guy before he retired from being a OB-GYN and delivering babies, because he would work at least a week out of the month at a charity hospital every night and deliver up to 3 babies a night for $2 a night. You know why under charity hospitals they did that? They paid for you to get food at the hospital kitchen. And Ron Paul, famously, would get paid $2 a night, and this was in the 80s, in Houston, to deliver babies. That was for coffee, water, juice, a hamburger, whatever. $2 a night. And why did Ron Paul go and do that when there wasn't even a law in place? Because when they went to medical school, they told him, this is what you do. 1/3 of your time, it's free. Now, my dad still did that in dentistry, and he had a line around the block of people wanting the free dental care. And then the companies he worked for, he practiced as well. Under law, if you manage stuff, you got to practice. So he still practiced 2 days a week. But he would still say, you know, you have to pay for the actual dentures or the actual, pieces that go into your teeth because that has to go to the company. But I'm doing your care for free. And people said, well, we've never heard of this, or I used to hear about this, but why doesn't this happen? And he said, well, things have changed. That's what you're supposed to do. Rich people are supposed to pay more for health care. They're supposed to endow hospitals. They're supposed to endow public baths. They're supposed to endow bridges. They're supposed to build infrastructure. Oh, but instead, we have the federal government to do it, and then you don't get it. And so under Obamacare, do you know what you get? You get it written by the insurance companies and big hospital groups to shut down all the small hospital groups, all the clinics, consolidate control. Because under Obamacare, if you don't have lobbyists in Capitol Hill, they SWAT team raid your hospital and say you're giving out too many opiates, or you're not filing stuff right, or you're involved in Medicare or Medicaid fraud, and shut you down. That's what we live under now, is a mafia. And so my dad's gotten out of healthcare because it's impossible unless you go start paying off the federal regulators, and it's all legal. You start giving money to Congress and going to the meetings in New York and D.C. and Los Angeles and Chicago and meeting around in the big boardrooms and meeting around with the regulators and getting on congressional, committee advisory boards. You don't exist. You got to go get at the table with the big boys, and then no more charity care. No more nothing. Gouge everybody. Rip everybody off. And then they got the nerve to stick Jimmy Kimmel up there on television to tell you, oh, my son had heart defects, so you're basically killing kids if you get rid of Obamacare. And Jimmy Kimmel just doesn't know the facts. Jimmy Kimmel reads off a teleprompter. Jimmy Kimmel's a funny guy. They let him be a comedian. I'm not against Jimmy Kimmel. And I said in a report, I said, I hope that Jimmy Kimmel finds out why congenital heart defects are way up. Just type in birth defects way up in the West, and it's birth defects of the heart, you name it. And I said, I hope he and his family find out and why that's happening and help people find out the cause, chemical runoff, vaccines, you name it, so he can use his platform to stop this. What did the media say? What did George Soros say? What did Media Matters say? They said that I was blaming him for the birth defects. What? I say, please, Kimmel, find out the facts and help people. Find out how fluoride's causing heart defects and brain defects in utero. That was CNN last week. I told you 20 years ago, had top scientist on. Hey, Kimmel, I told you, I said, look at fluoride. Are you drinking fluoridated water? Maybe your next child won't have these problems. I'm trying to help you. But see, you don't want my help. There it is, fluoride exposure in utero. Linked to lower IQs in kids, study finds. They'll just edit this together and put it on Comedy Central to make it look like I just attacked Jimmy Kimmel again, because they're bad people who are counting on you not paying attention, not being involved, not being informed. They don't want you to know the score. Now, before we go any further, we need to be funded. I'm going to come back with more on the tax cuts and more on the repeal of Obamacare. And it's all a train wreck. It's all a mess. Once you get government involved in health care, once you get regulations, once you get government putting money in and they can force people to pay whatever they want, what's going to happen? If corporations can force you to buy a product that you've got to have, what's going to happen to the price? I'm going to say that again. If corporations can force you to buy a product and there's no competition and you got to have it, what's the price going to be on it? Astronomical. Sky high. And when the public's ignorant about it, you're going to pay the most for prescription drugs in the world and then wonder why you do. It's because government let them do it by not letting the competition in. They'll cover up new deadly vaccines, but hold off drugs 10 years that they know undercut the price and effectiveness of all the others. It's a fact. But they want to keep chumping you until the end of time. Now, one big thing for pregnant women and everybody else is real minerals that aren't synthetic, but that are bioavailable, and we've got it. The very best fruit punch mix out there, naturally flavored, amazing, great for your children, great for yourself. It's Vitamin Mineral Fusion, sold out for months. Now back in stock and out of the gates, 50% off. It is a great deal. It's concentrated. It funds our operations for a limited time only. Vitamin Mineral Fusion for 50% off at InfoWarsStore.com. It's difficult to get all the essential vitamins you need in a day and stay as healthy as possible, plus the minerals, plus the cofactors, plus the amino acids. Well, this product has it. For a lot of Americans, we can go without all the minerals and vitamins we need, which can cause health issues daily. That's why we created Vitamin Mineral Fusion, the platinum standard of advanced multivitamin formulas, now 50% off for a limited time only. With Vitamin Mineral Fusion, you can get all the essential vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and other beneficial compounds that it needs, that your body needs, for optimum health with a great tasting formula that will keep you coming back for more. Take advantage of the great savings today and reach your optimal health with Vitamin Mineral Fusion, 50% off for a limited time only at InfoWarsStore.com. Now, that sale can go for a week or so because we got a lot of it in. Caveman is about to sell out in strawberry and in chocolate flavor, and when it's getting close to selling out, I'm going to remove the 50% off. It'll just be the normal 10% off. It's concentrated bone broth from chickens, highest quality, and then it's turmeric, concentrated organic, chaga mushroom, bee pollen, concentrated alfalfa, and more. InfoWarsLife.com. Just experience the stamina, the energy, the meal replacement. It mixes great with our high-quality, low-cost, very affordable whey as well. Check it out. 50% off, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And I want to thank you all for your support. But 50% off now, 40% off on the vitamin B12 Secret 12. Take advantage of that.
Survival Shield X2 Nascent Iodine. If you're interested in healthy thyroid, if you're interested in well-being, if you're interested in having a higher IQ, which this has been linked to, get your powerful Survival Shield X2 at InfoWarsStore.com.